fucking awesome.
Hello brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of Unleash the Hero Within, the journey of your life. And today is already episode 20, and well, it feels kind of a milestone to me because for the past 20 weeks I've been making this video every week. So I think I deserve a little pat on the back for a job well done. So today I want to talk to you about, the phase of the journey we are still in, and that is ordeal. And in the last video I talked about ordeal, and I shared my story about ordeal, about the things that I experienced, about the dark place I was in. Because this is still the phase of the journey where, well, vulnerability is a very big part of the journey. So I want to talk to you a little bit about vulnerability. What is vulnerability? Well, I guess vulnerability is like, the most accurate way to measure courage, I guess. I'm a big fan of the work of Brené Brown, and she talks a lot about vulnerability. And yeah, vulnerability is the most accurate way to measure true courage. Well, and since, the journey is about discovering your inner hero, and courage is one of the attributes of being a hero, vulnerability just comes in play. It's inevitable. So what exactly is vulnerability? What does it mean? Well, there's risk involved. You have to take a risk. The outcome is uncertain, so there is uncertainty, and it's also about emotional exposure. So I know it doesn't sound like a very fun part of the journey, and it really isn't, but it is also a very profound phase of the journey where you are going to grow a lot. It's not only growing, but you're going to experience a lot of pain. This is the phase of the journey where your ass is going to get kicked. You're going to fall, you're going to fail, you're going to experience heartbreak, you're going to bleed, you're going to be with your knees in the ground and you're going to cry. So it's not necessarily a happy phase of the journey. But vulnerability is also like the birthplace of love. Vulnerability is the birthplace of connection, of joy. So how can you experience those things if you're not willing to show who you truly are? But I also believe that vulnerability is the path back to each other. It's not an easy path to walk on. It's not easy. It's absolutely not easy being vulnerable. Far from it. But I think it's the only way to really open up and connect. To connect with other people and also to connect with ourselves, because if we have the courage to let ourselves be seen truly about who we are, so we are being very vulnerable, then this is also the place where love and connection starts to appear in your life as well. So it's like there is no courage without vulnerability. So courage and vulnerability are like, it's the same. If you want to demonstrate courage, here's your chance. Dare to be vulnerable. Take that risk. Let yourself be seen. Speak your story. Share your emotions. And I think it's also about belonging. And we live in this society now, in a world where we all try our best to fit in. Fitting in is about doing your best, maybe to be accepted by other people. You dress a certain way, you speak a certain way, you act a certain way. That's all about fitting in. But I don't think it's about fitting in, because if you do your best to fit in, you're basically not being yourself. So I think the opposite of fitting in is belonging. And belonging starts with you. You belong to yourself. So, who are you truly? Who are you really? Who do you belong to? And true belonging doesn't require you to change who you are. True belonging requires you to be who you truly are. And, if you have the courage to really speak up, to be vulnerable, to show who you really are without trying to fit in, man, that's going to be a privilege for other people to hear. Your story is a privilege for other people to hear. What I also believe is without vulnerability, there is no real love. You know, there's no real connection, there's no real belonging. And in the absence of all those ingredients, well, I guess there's only suffering, right? Because not who wants to live without those ingredients, but who can live without these ingredients. So, you know, we are wired for love and connection and joy. We need that. We actually need that to survive. How amazing is that? So if we want to survive, we need to demonstrate vulnerability. Wow. So vulnerability, it's hard, it's scary, and it feels dangerous, you know? But I think it's the only way to go, basically. It's the only way to go. And, you know, even though it feels hard and scary and dangerous, but it's not as hard and scary and dangerous that if we decide not to do it, then eventually we come to the end of our lives and we realize, you know, we didn't do those things, and we regret not doing those things. And we're going to ask ourselves, what would have happened if we actually showed up, you know? What would have happened if we had the courage to really speak up, to say, I love you, you know, to express how we truly feel. You know, the journey starts, you know, if you go to the first or the second video, the journey starts with the call to adventure. And I think this is where it all starts, you know. If you get the call to adventure, you know, you have to be brave. You have to answer the call. Be brave, be courageous, you know, and step into the arena of vulnerability, because this is eventually what is needed to experience, you know, love and joy and true belonging and connection. Yeah, I think that's about it. Wow. So yeah, I think this is it, you know. Dare, you know, have the courage to show up, be brave, because you are worth it. I think that's about it, you know. I think it is all about realizing that you are worth it. You are worth of being that person that is loved and knows how to love and dares to be grateful and experience true connection with other people, because who doesn't want to experience that? It's just that sometimes, a lot of times, we don't think we are worthy of it. Okay, that's a whole other video, I guess. Yeah, anyways, I think this is it. I know it's a bit of a weird video, but thanks for watching, and see you on the next video. Much love. Bye-bye.